Hey everyone, traders, friends, and family, welcome to statistically my most profitable day of the week. That's why I spell it Winsday, W-I-N-S-D-A-Y. Let's hop into some stocks that you requested and that I think might be moving, look at some analysis, talk about them, and enrich lives together. You rock. I'll see you in the video. Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jerremy Newsome with reallifetrading.com, and this is my last stock review for a little bit. Going to be crushing the Mediterranean Sea for almost 2 weeks. I'll leave tomorrow and I'll be back about the 16th. So the 17th, you'll see me again on that day. And I really won't be taking a lot of trades I don't anticipate between now and then. So I knew April is going to be a little bit of a slower month. But today, whoo, boys and girls, I'll say straight up, if you didn't make money today, doing something wrong. It was something about today, just everything worked. It was really nice. So good. Shout outs to, this sums it up perfect. My boy over here in Houston, amazing day. The big win to offset my down days. And that's the point, right? Lose small, win big. The big trades of the day, if I scroll up early this morning, were NVDA and Intel. And these were posted at market open because they were both bullish gap and goes. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But there's the entry and there's the stop on Intel. And there's the entry and there's the stop on NVIDIA. And there's Brad, 2 minutes in the market saying he's filled on NVIDIA. 4 minutes into the market, filled on Intel. Adrian, filled in NVIDIA as well. David, don't know what that is. But, step-by-step play of what Brad did. And look at my boy Greg Gilbert. Hoorah. My man up there, just look at this entry. 185.90 by 183.70. Ex-Marine, showing you how it's done. Good trade, my man, double G, straight up wrecking it. And then look at Chief over here, out of AMD for 3 Rs, out on April put sales on Tesla, locking in 75 cents of premium. Clive got out of AMD 4 Rs. He's giving me a shout out for some reason. Don't know why he's thanking me. But we have been looking at AMD a lot recently and had an official trade set up on it. So Clive, man, just so proud of you. He's got, I think he says, 8 Rs already for the month of April. Anyway, it was a great day. Definitely a Wednesday. Spell with an I. SPY, pretty much at the exact high of the day. 287.75 nabbed this guy right here. 300 June covered call on the SPY because we're getting to a spot where it's just getting a little comical. I am traveling internationally Friday. So I think if there's going to be a market pullback, it could happen next week. Not saying it will. But eventually, this gap most likely will fill. It doesn't have to happen anytime soon. Because you can see right here, that was a gap that stayed unfilled for a while. And there's not a whole heap ton of other gaps on the SPY that are unfilled. This one was a very small gap on a weekly chart. This one filled within 2 or 3 weeks. This one filled. If you go to a monthly chart, it gets even more rare to find an unfilled gap, and we do have one. If I just hide all this, so we do have. This. We closed here and opened here, so that is an unfilled gap on the SPY, and there's not a whole lot of examples. This one, unfilled gap, but again, the difference between this one, that one down here, is that was coming off of a low, right? So it had already traded down and it was gapping. That's a beautiful unfilled gap, but again, you don't have tons of examples of these, and here's one right here back in January 2012. That's unfilled. So anyway, I'm saying it doesn't have to fill, but at these levels, most likely will. And again, I'm still bullish. I still think we make new all-time highs this year. I know you guys are getting tired of me saying it, and you're tired of me hearing it, but buy the dip. And that's pretty much it. So that's the SPY. The rest of the market, the Dow Jones, breaking out of this trend line. It's making some good moves. It looks pretty. So if the Dow keeps climbing, keep it up. Again, I'm not saying it's going to last forever, but what I am saying is everyone is trying to pick the top on this market and don't. just stay bullish until you get stopped out of some trades, and then buy that dip again. So the Qs looking nice. I mean, again, a little bit of a relatively bearish candle on the Qs today. A gap that needs to be retested. This is a retest gap back here. So if we pull back Thursday, Friday, Monday of next week, would make total sense because I'd be traveling internationally. Let's go look at NVIDIA. And I think it comes to no surprise that I've been very bullish on NVIDIA. And pretty much every stock review, I've been talking about how bullish we've been on NVIDIA. So hopefully a few of you are in NVIDIA bullish. This trade right here working out real well on NVDA. Gorgeous gap, beautiful move. I mean, that was perfection. Perfection. If you want a perfect bullish gap and go on a blue chip stock, that's it right there. Here's the 5-minute chart. And you have to turn on the pre-market. So the pre-market right before market open, there was your bearish candle that came in. So really just taking the high of the day breakout, 185.80 with a stop down here at about 184 and some change. That was a beautiful, beautiful trade. So I was able to nab 1.4 Rs on NVIDIA. Getting out right here, I was like, yeah, I'm getting out the high. Nope, I was not. But that's okay. Again, I don't mind snagging 1.4 Rs. It's a really good trade, solid gain, and that was amazing. AMD. So I did play AMD, and I did lose very small on AMD because I moved my stop 1 penny too low, about 10 minutes too early on AMD. So this one was, again, I was up 1.4 Rs on the day, so I had no problem taking another trade. Very frequently, if I lose on that trade, I'm just done for the day. And this one was a little painful. Wouldn't have been a huge win, but could have won 1/4 of an R, maybe half an R on this one. Maybe even a full R if I was, really well, an actual good trader. So what I did on AMD is when it broke down right here, this break of this support, I wanted to short on a pullback. And the pullback was pretty much the 10 EMA on the 15 at the time. And what I was doing is, once this candle came in with this upper shadow, this little white candle with an upper shadow, if we break higher than that, you're going to go higher. So I should have put my limit sell at these moving averages at 29.33, which would have allowed me to move my stop up to like 29.81, and then I would have waited for this candle to form, then I would have lowered the stop, and then that would have been a really nice trade. So I messed that one up. But the good news is Claude and Hung Lao, they both out-traded me on this one. So let me hop over to Claude, give Claude some high fives via the internet. So here's Claude, got out for 0.4 Rs of a win, and Hung Lao played it with puts, got in at a better place, and made 0.2 Rs. So, even though it was a small bearish win, they did beat me, so I gave them some frequent trader points. The reason I was playing it bearish, if you were wondering, is because it was a really nice, it's a gorgeous bullish trend, no question. But it was a big gap. You're talking 10% up with a white candle yesterday. This is a retest gap on AMD. So at some point, you'll probably see a little bit of a retest, a little bit of a pullback into these areas, a little bit of a rest, and then most likely a continuation into about 31 and some change on AMD. Weekly chart looks tremendous. Good volume, good moving averages. Brian Montgomery, I know, is playing AMD bullish as well, so congratulations. Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. I love the fact that Apple closed above the high of these two bearish candles that came in with a lot of volume. So these two candles had a lot of volume, and we closed above both of those and then just kept on running. So Apple, that trend is as bullish as it can get pretty much, so looking good. Did have a request for two specific trades. Catalyst Pharmaceuticals, CPRX, and here's the weekly chart on this one. So the only thing that I'm finding interesting, actually if I go to a monthly chart, on Catalyst Pharmaceuticals is you are at a resistance. So we're here. That doesn't mean that it has to go down, but it means it could. And you got a big resistance from over here in August. You have, I guess, some support resistance over here from the IPO. And we're just trading into that level. Here is the weekly chart, and it just kind of looks more like a 1, 2, 3 wave. So realistically, we could trade sideways, hang out, pause, rest a little bit, create that wave 4, and then continue a little bit higher. I was looking at this one, and some $5 June puts were really cheap. So I kind of figured just like, why not? It's almost worth the try just in case it rolls over because they really are so inexpensive. If it breaks down. It probably won't, but at this particular point in time, it's out of resistance. Let it trade sideways if you're looking at getting in bullish and take it from there. The next one that I had requested was TGTX. I believe my boy Brian Livingston from Nashville, Tennessee was requesting these. Here's the weekly. And what I'm going to do in the weekly chart is just throw up the long-term moving averages and really zoom out. So you can see this thing has been in a power downtrend. It's had a lot of reverse splits. It's not going up. And the weekly long-term moving averages are right on top of each other, 968, 995. That's the weekly chart. Here's the daily chart. So yes, you did get above, you know, some of these averages so far. You got a decent gap right here, which is a retest gap. We're slowly peeling higher, but just looking at the massive, massive long-term trend, you're going to need a unicorn to fly into your house and give you a lifetime supply of chocolate milkshakes that will not make you gain weight. That's about the same chances you have of this actually going magnificently higher and making a lot of money. Just looking at that weekly trend, this is probably some type of flash in the pan that you can make some money off of short term, but it'll probably get rejected and just keep doing what it's doing. That is, of course, that's because that's what the trend is doing, and that's that. Here's Square. Got some put sales on Square. It's looking good, up 1.9%. About to break out of this little downward trend line, and when that happens, Square will start moving very nicely. Gorgeous gap, good volume. Long terms look pretty, bouncing off the 200s. Couldn't be more pleased on Square. 10 cent, one of our biggest holdings here in the Newsome household. 10 cents, bouncing off that 200 simple on a weekly chart. Buy low, sell high. One of the biggest companies that no one's ever heard about. And I just love this thing long term, love the trend, and looks like it's easily going to eventually trade up to 62. Just going to take some time, of course, but it had a good pullback. The weekly moving averages are all bullish now, so this thing just looks like it's going to slowly start peeling higher. So thumbs up all around on 10 cent. Man, there's just so many stocks I could look at. And of course, you know, the afternoon swing trading room starts in 32 minutes. Let's look at Tesla. And Tesla hanging out. My buddy Gustavo having some shares, doing a 310 covered call on Tesla. My great friend Aubrey is loving some Tesla action as well. And I do believe Elon Musk's day in court is around the corner. I don't expect a lot to happen from that. Most likely, worst case, I think we flash lower into these areas and then bounce out of here. And that's pretty much that. I think we'll probably consolidate, bounce around, and just not really do a whole heck of a lot. That's just my thoughts. I could be entirely wrong, but you know, we shall see. My buddy Greg K, congratulations for selling your house. And by the way, Greg, he's moving from Colorado to Arizona. Got a 180 put sale expiring in just a few weeks, so that one should look good. 165 put sale for May is 50% down. And this January 2020 $40 put sale is free money down here on Tesla. So, yep, as Tesla hangs out and trades sideways and does its thing for a little bit, I think this will be a good one to take advantage of some volatility sales over the next few days, most likely. And, of course, I can't go much longer without talking about, you guessed it, cryptos. Apparently, people are crypto experts again. This is good. I was very surprised when I woke up yesterday morning to see the move that had occurred in the crypto markets. I did not expect it to occur in one day, but I think anyone who can look at this chart and tell me what it looks like to them, this is an accumulation phase, and this is beginning of a small public participation phase, which I have no idea how high it's going to go. I can never call the tops on Bitcoin or any cryptos, but 6,000 and some change makes sense that we can peel up here, rest. Everyone's going to hop on. Everyone. And then we'll probably get a nice little flash lower. I have no idea how low we go. Best case scenario, we go all the way back down to 2,700. And then everyone just hates crypto and they throw it away, and then, you know, then we do this. That'd make the most sense from a wave count structure. But knowing Bitcoin and knowing that it doesn't like to actually go down very much, big picture, I kind of think we're just gonna slowly keep creeping. I made $1 or $2 off of Litecoin recently and got out a little too early. Went up to 99.89. Ashley, of course, is still in because she's a better trader than I am. And this thing's been an absolute tear. I loaded up some Litecoin positions down here and, yep, got out. Locked in a really, really good gain. But, I mean, could have been a whole lot better. So, Litecoin making its move, doing its thing, breaking through the 100 simple on a weekly chart. So in my personal opinion, folks, at this specific juncture, it's a buy the dip. I mean, why not? The trend is here, the volume is here, the breakout's here. I did play some Ethereum, and I did play this little retest last night. I have a lot of open positions at 156, but I don't think we're going to quite get down there. So glad I picked some up yesterday right as the close. But this volume that's coming in, folks, this is legit. I mean, it is, and we have a little bit more of a run-up left, but I think that there's going to be some pullback opportunities, of course, and you can play those pullback opportunities. But overall, let's have fun trading these bad boys. If you have no idea what cryptocurrencies are and you would like to at least get a little bit of information, I do have a really cool program on cryptocurrencies that you can check out. I think you'll dig it. You can also email me if you have any questions. If you think it's just a total fad, that's also fine. If you don't want to trade it, that's also totally fine. You by no means have to. But there's going to be some fun moves ahead in this market. And I've made a fortune doing it once, and I plan on doing it again. So who's with me? All right, folks, you guys rock. I will see you all later. And if you have any questions, hit me up. Until next time, love life, and trade it. Bye. Boom, that's it. Wednesday stock review wrapped up, delivered for you. Thank you for watching. Make sure to click that subscribe button because I do this 3 times every single week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have more coming next week. I have so much content, and I want you to check out this video right here because if you like this one, you'll love that one. You rock.